Okay guys, welcome back to Coach Doug's Soccer Tactics. Just going to do a little review of what our Zoom meeting was about the other day, about our defensive shape and principles of play. So just as a review, what we want to do on defense is impose our will on the opponent, make things difficult for them, and control the space as much as possible. We always want to make them play around us. We want to avoid them playing through us and over us if possible. So, number one principle of play for our top two players here is that they need to make the play predictable and make them play in a smaller area of the field, meaning taking away portions of the field and compressing them into a smaller area. So we can do that by cutting off this switch possibility here and then compressing them into an area such as this. Okay, so our high press, we're trying to not necessarily steal the ball right away, but steer them into a smaller area of the field where we can then use numbers and defend in numbers and make them make a mistake. Once they make a bad touch, then we can pounce on the ball and then we can start to make our movements in the attacking phase and make a quick transition. So that's our principle of play for our top two defenders. Again, if you're a striker and a 10, you are a defender when we don't have the ball. As soon as we lose the ball, let's say we have the ball here, we make a bad touch and they play back to their 5, then we need to get back into our shape. So immediately we see our shape here. We want to move up. We don't want so much space in between our lines. Now, if we fail in our attempt to high press and compress them, and they're able to play through our lines, our next most pressing defensive principle is then to recover urgently and get behind the ball again. So we need to get back behind the ball in our shape and make sure our lines are compact so that they're not playing through us. And again, forcing them to play around us instead of through or over, okay? So it requires a lot of energy and commitment to get back in front of the ball in our shape and be compact. Now, if we fail at that and they're able to play into this space past our first line, these players, the closest player needs to step, slow down the player with the ball, and that is the main principle at this phase. We need to slow the attack. So this player doesn't necessarily need to steal the ball. He needs to slow the ball down. We get more compact. Make sure he does not play the ball forward through our second line of defense. Make sure he plays either sideways or backwards. If we fail at that point, and he is able to play through us or over us into our next line of defense, again, this switches then to a protect the goal phase. We have to cut off the main routes to goal. So this player needs to come in more compact here. We need to try to avoid the play over. This player's offsides, obviously. We can leave him alone if he's going to play there. We want to avoid the play over us or through us and make them play out wide or make them play back, while the rest of our players are urgently getting back behind the ball and setting up defensively into our shape again. So always want to make them play around us, never through or over. We're exerting our control over the space. Our high press wants to compress the ball into a smaller area. If they get beat, they're urgently getting back in front of the ball. If our second line gets breached, we're trying to slow down the play as much as possible and protect the direct route to goal. So those are our defensive principles for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and like, and we'll see you out there on the soccer field.